Well, this doesn't sound good.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the power supply in your Neptune 4 Max with the same factory power supply or even an upgraded unit. If your Max quit working, or you're one of the folks whose power supply was dead on arrival, this video is for you. The Neptune 4 Max is a big printer that's capable of fast and high quality prints. There was admittedly some trial and error to get things dialed in, but after a few hours of tinkering and tuning, my 20-minute benchy was ship-shape, optimism was high, and I was ready to take on a big print. I mean, that's why we bought the Max, right? Not even 12 hours into that first print, I returned to find the Max still, the build plate cold and no response, even after power cycling the unit. The light on the power switch itself would illuminate, but that's it. Worst of all, my wife's Halloween costume was now on hold until this was sorted out. I'll show you how I confirmed the power supply was bad in a moment, but suffice to say it was toast. So I fired off an email to Elegoo support, waited a couple of days, got tired of waiting for an actual human to reply, then decided to throw caution and my warranty to the wind to crack this baby open and see what's up. While this procedure isn't very difficult, you will be working with a device that uses line voltage, so if you aren't sure how to safely perform the replacement, get help from someone qualified. The first thing you'll need to do is unplug your power. Next, find something to cushion the gantry of the printer so you don't damage the top while you work. We'll need to lay the unit on its side to access the bottom panel, so be careful to support the bed and print head while you work. I found that the shipping foam that came with the unit worked great for this. Here you can see where the power supply is located. You'll notice that the terminals for the power supply, where the line supply comes in and the load is attached, are sort of visible. Using insulated test leads, I was able to verify that the power was good at the input terminals, but no voltage was on the output. Definitely a bad power supply. We'll need to remove this bottom plate to get the supply out. The bottom plate is held on by lots of these small hex screws. These screws are two different lengths, so you want to keep track of where the shorter ones were. Once the panel is off, you can see the guts. Motherboard over here, and power supply down here. The power supply unit itself is the same one used in many Ender 3s. It's a commodity 400 watt unit, and you can buy the exact same model on Amazon. In fact, this style of power supply is also available in the higher output 480 watt model. Both supplies are exact fits, and are adjustable to tweak the output voltage, and have the exact same terminal layout. I'll include links to both of the power supplies in the comment section below. Now, I know some of you are wondering why I went with the higher output supply. I run a UPS on all of my 3D printers. Not only will this help prevent failed prints due to the occasional power blip, but a good UPS will also condition and monitor the power. During my early test prints before the supply failed, I was surprised to see the Max drawing over 360 watts, and this was on a warm day with the gantry and print headlights off. That's a bit higher than I'd like to see on a 400 watt supply, so since I had to replace it anyway, I decided to go with the bigger, beefier 480 watt replacement. To remove the power supply, you first need to remove 4 screws that hold the supply to the printer chassis. You can access these screws 2 at a time by gently sliding the build plate to one extreme, removing 2 screws, then sliding it to the other extreme and removing the last 2. Once these screws are removed, the power supply will be loose, but still attached to the wires on the terminals. Next, you'll need to remove the wires connected to the power supply terminals. Unscrew them carefully, making sure to keep track of which wire goes where. You can label the wires when you remove them, or simply move them one at a time off of the old power supply and onto the new one. Looking at the terminals, there should be a line, neutral, and ground. These are for the power coming into the supply. You'll want to do those first. The other terminals are for the 24 volt out going to the printer. Using a multimeter attached to the 24 volt output, I carefully plugged in the printer and powered it on. The printer won't do anything since you don't have the 24 volt output connected, but doing this let me verify the voltage out and use the small potentiometer you see here to make any final adjustments. The last few steps are to attach the wires to the output terminals. You'll have 2 pairs of wires. Make sure you keep track of the positive and negative side for each wire. You don't want to get these backwards because, well, you just don't. Once you're sure the wires are in the right place, do a final check to ensure the terminals are tight and no wires have come loose or are shorted. Then all that's left is to reattach the 4 screws underneath the print bed and screw the bottom cover back on. If you did everything right, congratulations, you should be back in business. Get back to printing awesome big stuff on your Macs. With the 480 watt supply in place, the printer has been running great. I've logged about 20 hours since the replacement, and so far, no issues. I'm even running the unit with all the lights on and a directly connected webcam that uses Obico to automatically detect failures. And yeah, that really works. If you'd like to see a video on how I set that up, let me know in the comments below. And since I know some of you are going to ask, yes, I took the failed power supply apart. It's not worth fixing, but it does make a nice noise when you shake it. That's all for this video. If it helped you out, please like and share with anyone that needs it. And if you like modern making, classic crafts, electronics, games, and have an unhealthy passion for fantasy role-playing, well, you might want to subscribe and stick around. We have big plans. Till next time, thanks for watching.